What's up, curious minds? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the weirdest, wildest, and honestly kinda genius military tactics ever pulled off. We're talking about a battle where the secret weapon wasn't a new kind of sword or some crazy scheme. It was cats. Yeah, you heard me. These guys used fluffy, adorable cats. Now let's dive deep into the context. Picture this: ancient Egypt, land of pyramids, pharaohs and gods with animal heads. It's 525 BC. Egypt's been around forever, like the OG superpower. But there's a new kid on the block, and they are not playing around. The Persian Empire. These guys, led by their ambitious king Cambyses II, were basically building the biggest empire the world had ever seen, stretching all the way from modern-day Turkey to parts of India. And guess what was next on their to-conquer list? Yep, Egypt. Now Egypt wasn't exactly a pushover. They had history, they had wealth, they had the Nile, and they had a brand new pharaoh, Psamtik III. He'd just gotten the top job, like maybe 6 months before the Persians showed up knocking. Talk about a rough first day, right? He's trying to figure out where the coffee machine is, and suddenly he's got the most powerful army on earth marching towards his border. The Persians, led by Cambyses, the second son of the legendary Cyrus the Great, had to cross the brutal Sinai Desert to even get to Egypt. That's accomplishment in itself. Imagine marching an army through that furnace. But they did it, and their target was the fortress city of Pelusium. Think of Pelusium as the front door to Egypt's rich heartland, the Nile Delta. If the Persians could break through here, they basically had a straight shot to the rest of the kingdom. So the stage is set, two ancient powers about to clash. The Egyptians are defending their homeland, their legacy. The Persians are looking to add another jewel to their imperial crown. Standard stuff, right? Wrong. This is where fun starts, the weird fun. To understand what happens next, you gotta understand something crucial about ancient Egypt. They were obsessed with cats. Like really obsessed. Cats weren't just cute pets, they were seen as sacred, divine creatures. They were connected to the goddess Bastet, a major deity, often shown with the head of a cat. She was a protector goddess, linked to the home, fertility, childbirth, and even the pharaoh himself. Killing a cat in ancient Egypt was a massive no-no. Seriously, it was a capital crime. Like punishable by death, even if it was an accident. Herodotus, the Greek historian, tells stories about Egyptians literally rioting and killing people who harmed cats. They mourned dead cats like family members, shaving their eyebrows as a sign of respect. So yeah, cats equal serious business in Egypt. Now back to Cambyses II and the Persians outside Pelusium. Cambyses wasn't just a brute conqueror. He was smart. Or at least, he had smart advisors. Someone in the Persian side knew about this Egyptian cat obsession. And they cooked up a plan that was equal parts brilliant and bizarre. According to several ancient sources, including a later Greek writer named Polygenes, Cambyses ordered his troops to gather up as many cats and possibly other animals sacred to the Egyptians, like dogs or ibises, as they could find. So the battle begins, the Persians advance. But here's the kicker: they put the cats in front of their front lines. Some accounts say soldiers carried cats in their arms. Others suggest they painted images of Bastet or cats on their shields. Some even say they literally drove herds of sacred animals towards the Egyptian defenders. Imagine being an Egyptian soldier. You're ready to fight for your life, for your pharaoh, for Egypt. And the first thing charging at you is Fluffy and Mittens. And hundreds of other creatures you've been taught your entire life are sacred and must not be harmed. What do? Do you shoot your arrows and risk hitting a sacred cat, angering the gods, and maybe even facing execution later if your side wins? Do you charge forward with your spear, knowing you might impale Bastet's favorite animal? The Egyptian archers hesitated, the infantry was thrown into confusion. Their religious beliefs basically paralyzed them. They couldn't bring themselves to fight effectively without risking sacrilege. It was psychological warfare at its most primal and furry. The Persians, seeing the Egyptians falter, pressed their advantage. They crashed through the disrupted Egyptian lines. The battle turned into a rout. The Egyptians were defeated not just by Persian steel, but by their own deeply held beliefs weaponized against them. Pelusium fell, and with the gateway open, the Persians marched deeper into Egypt. The aftermath, pretty grim for Egypt. First Psamtik III was captured. Psamtik was initially treated fine, but later apparently tried to stir up a rebellion. Either he was forced to take his life or was executed, accounts vary. This defeat marked the end of Egypt's independence for a long time. The Persians took over, establishing what historians call the 27th dynasty of Egypt, basically the first period of Persian rule. Cambyses became effectively the new pharaoh. Now we gotta be real historians for a second. Is this cat story 100% accurate? Exactly as told? Maybe not. Ancient sources can be biased or exaggerate for dramatic effect. Some modern historians think the story might be legendary, or that the cats played a smaller role than claimed. They argue the Persians likely won due to superior numbers, tactics, or maybe the Egyptians were just having a bad day. It's hard to know for sure exactly how many cats were involved, or if they were painted on shields instead of being live animals, but even if it's partly exaggerated, the story persists for a reason. It highlights something super important. Knowing your enemy isn't just about knowing how many soldiers they have. It's about understanding their culture, their beliefs, their psychology. The Persians, whether through genius planning or lucky exploitation, found a cultural pressure point to squeeze. It shows that sometimes the weirdest and smart tactics can be the most effective. The Battle of Pelusium wasn't just a military victory, it was a masterclass in psychological warfare powered by cats. So next time you see a cat, maybe give it a little nod of respect. It might just hold a secret to conquer another empire. What do you think? Was Cambyses a genius or just lucky? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more weird and wonderful history. See you later, alligator.